Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So let's talk about this Jonathan Majors situation. Recently, Jonathan Majors was involved in an altercation with his now ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabbari. And I didn't really follow the case because as soon as I saw the allegations and I saw the two people, I was like, yeah, he is going to be found guilty whether he did it or not, because, you know, that's the system. So I did not care to follow the case. I didn't really know anything about what went down until now. I just knew he was going to be found guilty, and lo and behold, he has been found guilty. He was found guilty of assault and harassment, and Marvel Studios and Disney have officially dropped him. So his career is probably pretty over, which is sad, especially if he didn't do it. But here's what grabbed my attention, right? Like I said, I wasn't following the case before, but once the guilty verdict came out, a lot of videos started coming out. And before, when the case was going on, there was like a footage of him running from the young lady or whatever. But now there are like so many angles that have been released since the verdict came out, or maybe they were out there before and I just never saw them. So allegedly, Grace found a message on Jonathan's phone, and she wanted to keep the phone, and Jonathan wanted to take his phone back. Something about him allegedly cheating, and he wanted to take his phone back, and Grace wouldn't give him back the phone. So they tussled over the phone, and he grabbed Grace and placed Grace back in the car. He was trying to get away from what it looked like, and she was trying to like still grab the phone or grab him or whatever. And at some point in time, he grabbed her, placed her away from him, and then started running. And when I tell you, like, you could see that girl is running after this man for blocks on end. Like, I was like, was she not wearing heels? Like, what possessed you? What possesses you to take off after a man like this in your heels? And he is supposedly beating on you. He is assaulting you, and you're running away after him like by yourself. Like, she's almost like killing herself running in front of cars to try and grab him. For what? Because if a man assaults you, all you have to do, if you're a woman and a man assaults you, all you have to do is call the police. That's all you have to do. Call the police, they will get him, and he's gonna go away. So I don't know why she spent all this time running after this man. And then apparently during the tussle in the car, her finger allegedly got broken, or there's like a cut in her behind her ear. Like, look at the pictures. These are the pictures. This is where her cut is. How do you get that? And that's just me just looking at things. Like, how do you, the finger, I get it. It could be like they're tussling over the phone, and he tried to grab the phone from her very forcefully, and her finger may have bruised. I mean, she's from the mountains of Caucasus, so anything like a very strong stare can bruise her. So her finger is bruised or allegedly broken or whatever. That can easily be explained. But like the injury behind her ear, like where this injury is, I don't know how you would get that in a tussle. That looks very specific to me. That is very specific. I don't know how you would get that. But then again, maybe it's possible, and I'm just like looking at it and I don't know. But I don't see, like, the little bit of common sense that I have, I do not see how you would have gotten that from tussling with somebody. No bruising or whatsoever. It's just a really neat cut behind the ear, just very specific. Very specific. There is no bruising there, as you can see. So I don't know how she got that. And then allegedly, after the whole situation in the car and running through the streets of New York, she went to the club, had fun with her friends, and then went back to their place, I guess. And she was inebriated, allegedly, and she told her friends some stuff. And then he came home and found her. Apparently, she was unconscious, and he ended up calling the police and all that stuff. And it's like, it's so sketchy. The whole thing is very sketchy because, number one, someone assaulted you. You decided that you're gonna chase after them by yourself, and then you did not report anything. You went to party. He ended up having to call the police because you passed out in his closet, well, in y'all's closet, in y'all's place that y'all share together. right? He ended up having to call the police. Now tell me why a man who has assaulted a woman and he's running from her would call the police and stay there until the police got there. I'm not saying he couldn't call the police if he really did it. He probably would have called the police. Me, I would have called the police, and I would have made sure that they got there, and I would have taken off if I didn't want to have a run-in with them knowing that I was guilty. I would not have waited for the police. I probably would have set up cameras or something so I can get footage of what went down just in case I need it, but I probably would not have stayed and met up with the police knowing that I'm guilty AF, and they're probably just gonna take me right then and there. I just feel like things are not adding up at all, and it's just ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. And then there's also a footage of him talking to this woman that people were saying like, oh my gosh, he did it because like this conversation shows that she is clearly a battered woman and he has clearly been abusing her before. This wasn't the first time. Blah blah blah. Based on this conversation, listen to this conversation that people are losing their mind about, and I will come back.
What are we doing right now? Period. This is actually period. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you really go there? Do you really?
Yes.
Then how dare you come home trying to disturb the peace of our house when we have a plan? I would like to get to the point where your friends know what job I'm on and go, I think Grace is going to be at a commission. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I won't.
No. Do you understand that? Because that team, that unit, right? Grace has to be in a certain mindset. To support Coretta Scott King. You know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife. Michelle Obama. Barack Obama's wife.
I know, I'm not. I shouldn't have gone out. I'm sorry.
Let me just lay it out for you, right? I'm just gonna say this. My temper, my shit, my trauma, all that said, right? I'm not saying I'm a great man, I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. That is actually the position I'm in. That's real. I'm not going to think about it. I didn't ask for it. I've worked, and that's the situation. The woman that supports me, that I support, that needs to be a great woman and make sacrifices the way that man is making for her and for them ultimately. Last night, 2 nights ago, you did not do that. You did not do that.
I'm sorry.
Which took away from the plan. And the plan is everything. If it was just you in the house drunk, maybe I could have swallowed it. Or I would have felt bold enough like, oh, hey, let's just go to bed. Which I said, I'm just going to bed. I'm not hungry for a little blah. Because Grace isn't here. Why? She was drunk. Why else? She was clogged by whatever was going on.
I mean, he's got some frustration going on in his voice, I'm not gonna lie. And it's probably because it's something that she does very often and he does not like it. He sounds like someone who has had this conversation with her before so many times. And she's apologetic, knowing that she done messed up yet another time after they've had this conversation. If it was about him ruling over her, there wouldn't have been no mention of we and us and our house and our team and all that good stuff. I don't think, like, when a man is trying to put a woman down or when a man is trying to show a dominion over a woman, they don't speak to their woman that way. The man was speaking in terms of we and us and team and ours and our plan and our house and all that. So I don't get where people are getting that she sounds so scared. And that's another thing, like, as soon as a woman starts to drop some tears, all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my gosh, like she is like, she's been through it because she's crying. Like, we don't know how to put on a show. People act like women don't know how to put on a show. Mind you, she was the one recording, okay? She was the one recording the conversation. So we're gonna put on a show. One thing we know how to do is put on a show. So I hate it when people act like as soon as a woman drops a couple of tears, then, you know, we should all fall over because, like, she is in distress. No, that woman is not necessarily in distress because she is crying. We're like a whole bunch of emotional creatures, and anything and everything gets us going, and it's annoying. That man didn't say anything to this woman that was so bad, or that was indicative of him putting hands on her, or of him having a habit of putting hands on her, and that's why she sounded how she sounded in the video. Miss me with the BS. I'm not buying it. I don't like to get into these things because like it gets me going, but I just found this whole thing to be ridiculous. And I wish him the best of luck. I don't know what the sentencing looks like. I don't know if he's gonna have to serve time or not, but I know like Marvel has already dropped him, and I wish him the best of luck. I wish that this didn't go that far, but this is the route that he chose, and you know, we live with the choices that we make. It is what it is. Anyways, let's jump into some of these comments. Somebody said, I don't know ish about this case and honestly don't care, but it's possible he assaulted her, then was fleeing the scene. He assaulted her and she turned into a vigilante. Like, what was gonna happen when she took off after him? I don't get it. I don't necessarily agree. I'm not saying that it couldn't possibly be the case, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for her to do that. Somebody else said, I don't know ish about assaulting women, but usually when a woman is assaulted, a white woman at that, she doesn't follow her attacker. That man was running for his life. I mean, that one I agree with. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense for her to be running after him. If he was the one assaulting her, I think she would be trying to get away from him. It would make more sense for her to try to get away from him versus running, chasing after him for miles in heels. It doesn't make sense. Someone else said, possible scenario, the relationship had run its course. Jonathan Majors was getting big recognition. He wanted to be a free player. Girlfriend wasn't going to be ignored and decided Jonathan Majors would have to suffer for his decision. It's possible. I mean, it is possible. It's giving setup, if you ask me. That cut behind the ear was too clean. It's just, I have my suspicions. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying he didn't do anything at all. I'm not saying he's not guilty of anything, but like some things are not adding up. Someone said that man is running like Joseph from Potiphar's wife. He really is. It was like, not I. Somebody said, mind you, they literally chose to exclude this evidence. Like, why? Why did they not submit this? I don't know. That makes you wonder. Someone said, boycott Marvel. It's the only justice we can serve. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that they dropped him. I don't think it was like, you know, but I guess business is business. It's whatever. Somebody said, a man can push you away from him, run away while being chased by a woman. She can then go party with 3 strangers that same night, order bottles on your credit card, go back to your place, take drugs, pass out, and be found the next morning by that same man to save your life because he had to sleep in a hotel, and still you're guilty as charged. Shout out to the justice system, which is big trash. That is crazy. The justice system, you know, needs a little bit of revamping, if you ask me, because I'm just like not here for certain tricks that women got up their sleeves, you know. I think that we should revamp a few things to make it a little bit fair, because right now it ain't. It is not. Anyways, I am done with this. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. And please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next one. But until then, I hope to see you in the comment section. Bye.